Hello guys, welcome to another episode on Lices and Banters. On this, we talk about godly life, relationship, everything you can think about lifestyle. Today, we are talking about me, God, encouragement, motivation, whatever you want to call it. I want to speak to you briefly about my life and how God has been faithful. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, share my link, comment, like. Please, if you have an idea of what topic to talk about on this series, please drop it in the comment section. Let me say something. So I'll talk briefly about myself, and then I'll talk about a metaphor in the Bible that can relate to this. And then I'll tell you briefly about people in the Bible that had nothing, but then God brought them to a point that it gave glory to himself, right? So stay with me throughout this, and I'll meet you at the end of this video. I don't know where to start from. You know what? Have you gotten to the point where you have to explain to people that you are not a DB for them to believe that you are not a DB? And that is why I'm here today. Like when people see you as the person you think you are not, and then you keep explaining yourself to them every time, I believe that is the grace of God, right? Growing up as a child, I remember my dad had money, I think so, and like I was going to a school in Aneje in Takrady. So if you know the Takrady area, you know Aneje is this one, a big estate or something. And then life happened, like I think I remember in JHS, those who knew me and knew my mom's shop would know that sometimes I have to like not go to school because my mom had traveled and I have to open a shop for her. Like those kind of challenges in life. Fast forward, BS was over, I got it, I went to Archbishop Potter Girls. So I'm talking about my journey. So I went to Archbishop Potter Girls. Life happened again, completed, and then I came to KNUST. How many of you completed KNUST without a laptop? Right. And I think that is a major challenge in school when there's PowerPoint to read and all of that. Not now that my sister is having a laptop, she's having this, she's having that. This video is not to say that I'm talking a lot about my family. I want to bring you to a point of realization. One major thing I'm emphasizing is that completing the university without a laptop. And then I was still a first class student. Sometimes you are in school and you know how people live in school. They can buy whatever they want. The hostels that people are in, the pressure that it comes with if you have not signed your mind to a certain vision, right? So these are the realities of life that we do not talk about. So you see people in a certain class, like I mean social class, and then there are people in another social class. We do mingle. Everyone is going through something, and we don't talk about these things. Like my life, I've said I'm not from a rich home, I won't say. My point is when I have to explain to people that this is where I am from. Like when you're tracing back to the roots. I was listening to a preaching, and it says that if God was a man and he had to ask someone that, hey, who is this person before I bless this person, people are going to talk about you so much such that that person will take their help away. That, like, you get what I mean? I would compare this to the metaphor in the Bible in Isaiah 64 verse 8, when God says he is the potter and then we are the clay. And then he spoke about it in Jeremiah chapter 18 verse 1 downwards. So God had told Jeremiah to go to the potter's house, and then he had a message for him. And so he went there, he saw that the potter was making a pot, right? So this is what Jeremiah saw. He said, as the potter molded or shaped a clay pot on the potter's wheel. What Jeremiah saw is that by the pot he was shaping from the clay was made in his hands. So the potter formed it into another pot, shaping it as it seemed best to him. My keyword here is as it seemed best to him. And so we want to compare this to God being the potter and we being the clay. God is molding us the way it seems best to him. So this God molding us is the process we are going through. If right now life is happening, like you do not find yourself where you want to be, you try this and it fails. Like sometimes God, like that is why I'm now today I'm here saying that I was in the university without a laptop, just so you get a story to tell where you were from. God has power over the clay. He would continue to work with it to make it a useful vessel. Now you might not be useful. Now you might find yourself in a place that you don't want to be. You might find yourself in a role or a job that they don't even regard you as you want to be. You might find yourself in a home. Maybe you're staying with someone. They don't even regard you. God is molding you into a vessel that will be useful one day. So it is a process. I'm going to talk about how we have to stay in this process to make sure that the glory of God is seen. As God is molding us, defects will happen. Like the metal students or the art students that are here, when you are molding a clay, defects will happen. It's up to the potter to make sure that he corrects the defect or leave the defect on the pot. Right? If you are the clay and God is molding us, and then if defect happens and then we do not allow ourselves to be corrected, we might end up as a clay, we might end up drying before the process is finished. And this can like be related to how sometimes we grow weary out of our problems, even trying to give up. Charlie, I say I'm turning into motivational speaker. I need to say something. But this is actually something serious that I'm talking about. So as the defects happens, we have to be responsive to treatment, kind of, and then we have to be responsive to the impact God wants to make on us. So if let's say you are going through a specific situation, you are applying to schools and they are not even working, and you try to give up, then it means that you are not being responsive to the process that God is taking you through. How many of us here can cast our minds back to where we were and then where we have come, and then all the words you can alter is like it's God. What we say is that everyone that has made it in life thinks that their motivation, or they are like today right now they my motivational speaker Charlie, but mature before and after. If I show you the before and after of my life, I would say I was like, it's a change. And then I think nothing was by my strength. So KUST, I got to third year and then I heard about this scholarship. So continuing my story, I heard about this scholarship. This was a process, right? So we applied for it. Every day I say it on this channel, I applied for it, essays here and there, and then we got it. This was the turning point in my life, like, where I feel like this is God. Like everything that was happening in my life at that point. So whatever is happening in your life, there is a turning point. There is a point where God is like, okay, this is what I wanted you to see. This is what I wanted you to know. But then here I am. I will show up for you, right? It's not like I had lost hope. I was in third year. Yeah, life was still moving for me. I was going to final year. I was going to complete. But I always kept asking myself, I do not have a protocol to live in Ghana. Like after undergraduate, what was I going to do? Because I had to do an internship in Ghana, and the toil I had to go through to secure that internship, it was mind busting. Kojo Sheldon would say it was so much like to get an internship to do, because you have to know someone to connect you. So always if you are in Kenya still, you know, parade grounds, right? I used to go to parade grounds to pray. I'm like, yeah, and I had family members that used to come to my mom's shop, like, and they are like, oh, university, like, let me speak English because of the audience, you never know where someone is from. Like this university that you are going, you end up coming to be in the house, you end up not getting a job. I'm sure that you are in a situation where people have started, they don't understand you, people will despise you, right? And then it is up to you to stand up to your faith and then just keep believing in God. Even those times, even after I came from. Like, I go on vacation and I hear these things. When I come back to campus, I'm always going to parade grounds. Like, when I'm praying, I'm like, God, make a way. Like, God, I want to tell a different story. So that was the trust I kept in God. Like, I kept saying, like, I always kept asking myself, what would I do after school? So, like, God came through even when I didn't complete school, to see that, like, national service, like, where was I going to do it, in a certain village? Like, you never know. So that I'm here to tell you that whatever you are going through, someone has been through before, someone has been there before. There were people in the Bible that had nothing, absolutely nothing, but then God came through for them. But the conclusion of my message is that God specializes in turning the ordinary into extraordinary. God specializing in bringing people from nothing to glory, insignificant to significant, right? And that is who God is. God is a destiny changer. If I should do a like flips of my before pictures, someone will say the only difference is good camera, maybe quality hair, but that is not what I'm talking about. Whatever your current situation is, whatever your current circumstances, God, that is the potter, is making you a useful vessel that you stand somewhere, say it, and a person will be blessed. I'm not saying it to bluff. Like, the devices in my room right now, it's not like I'm a DB. Like, I'm not a DB. When I'm a person, I'm say as you know. In this process of refinery, in this process of life happening, in this process of hardship, what do we need to do? We need to do something, because if you don't take time, we might leave the presence of God before God finishes his process with us. I said that sometimes I didn't have money on campus. Like, in all honesty, sometimes I didn't have money on campus, and I'm always grateful for certain people in my life as at the time. And so God bring people in our life at every point in our lives to bless us and then make us go through those process, like make us go through that phase of life, right? If what do we do to make sure that we remain in God, we believe in this process until the process is done? One, I want to say that trust in God's plan. For he says, I have the plan, I know the plans that I have for you, the plans of good and not of evil, the plans to prosper. Even Jesus Christ had to go through a lot to make sure that whatever he came to this earth to fulfill came to pass. So even him, then what about us? We have to go through that process. We have to go through that every phase. At every phase of our life, we are going through something. It's not like now I don't have a problem, Charlie. Like, at every phase of our lives, we are going through something, and it's all part of the process. This phase, everything that is happening in my life in this phase, I will tell it someday. So that is it. We have to trust in God's plan. We might have our own plans. Maybe you wanted to complete school at the age of 20. You wanted to complete your master's at the age of 25. It is not happening. You are 30 and you are like, hey, life is moving. Life has not moved yet. It is your process. When the time is right, he, the Lord, will make it happen. Remain obedience to his guidance. In this process, we have to remain in him. We have to abide in him. There are a lot of doctrines that are going on in our world right now, and you feel like this person is not doing this, but this is happening for this person. I'm sure that in as much as we don't want to be judgmental, it has crossed our minds before that this person is not doing this, but they get everything that they want. This person is like this. That's the, you know what, that's the human in us. Let's allow God to mold us into the vessels that bring glory to his name. Today I'm standing here saying that sometimes I didn't have money on campus because my dad had not sent my money yet. And sometimes you have an assignment, you have to do it with your phone battery is dead here and there, the struggles. In the end, today I'm saying to the glory of God not to like brandish the things that I have. I have an iPad, there is two tablets I don't even use, work laptop, your personal laptop, there is a camera, there is a phone. How many of these devices can you use? And that is what I'm trying to talk about. Even though we are not where we want to be yet, you get to a point where this story that you are saying, people will not even believe it. Because you don't look like it. And that is what this video is about. Be encouraged, be motivated. Whatever you are going through is part of the process. God is molding you into a vessel that will stand among multitudes, and then you have to say a story, and then people will relate to it, because During that time, that will be their phase of life. Keep your faith in God, keep believing in God, keep doing what you are doing, keep pursuing, be committed, keep the faith, don't give up. God is still in the business of refining people. He is molding you. For the Bible says, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength and shall renew their minds. I think I'm preaching too much. But then this is my simple message, yes. So if you are going through anything, God is still in the business of refining people. He has transformed my life, like from zero, from nothing to where I am today, and we keep going. If I cast my mind back even 3 years or 4 years from now, God has changed my life. Like, I can't say it more. Do not forget your first love, who is God. And so the people in the Bible where God brought from nothing to something is, let's look at Joseph. Joseph, his brothers, because of how God has made him, we are people where God have made you some way, somehow, that people even hate you before nothing. So Joseph was sent to prison. The story of Joseph we all knew. And there is something, when I was in Kenya, a preacher man came to school and he was like, overnight miracles. Joseph was in the prison, right? I'm sure Joseph, when you are in prison right now, Joseph will feel like, when am I coming out of prison? When is it ending? You are in a certain situation right now that is looking like a cage. When is this situation ending? The next time that the king had a dream and Joseph had to come and explain, and the next minute Joseph is a prime minister. Like, how does this happen? Overnight miracles. The day before I was in prison, today I am where I am today. Whatever you are going through is your prison. It is your cage. You need to come out of it, but then there's a process. Until you get there, until God is saying that this is where I need you to glorify me, you have to remain in the process. And so we can also look at Abraham. God is the God of impossibilities. At the age where Sarah gave birth, do you think that 30 years is like you have wasted a lot of your life? Sarah gave birth at the age of what? God is a God of impossibility. In the book of Luke, he says that with me all things are possible. He didn't say some things. He didn't say that your situation is unable to change. He didn't say that he doesn't have the power to change your situation, but he said all things are possible. Ruth, a widow. Like, imagine a poor person who is also a widow in our time. Like, who is she? But then she kept her commitment and her loyalty to Naomi, and see, a widow who started with something little but became a very prominent person in the lineage of David. That it was God. It has to be God. And so this is my message to you today. Do not give up. Keep pressing on, and God will come through for you. And so if this is your first time on this channel, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on notification for this channel, and I'll meet you in my next episode on Life's and Banters. You can't wait. The person that is coming to visit me is crazy. We are going to do a truth or dare kind of thing. So yeah, stay with me and I'll catch you. I'll meet you next time. Bye bye, bye bye. Let me say something. Yep. Okay, bye.